Hey, Coach, how you doing, sir?
Doing very well. How we doing today?
Man, I was getting ready for our podcast here, and you would never believe what song came on.
Okay, hit me with it.
Rubber Band Man.
The Spinners. I love it. I love it. That's one of my favorites. One of
Love the
my
Spinners.
favorites.
All right, so
So,
today's podcast sponsors Prestige Lending. The website's visitprestige.com. You need a mortgage for purchases or refinances. Go check that out. You can also apply online. So love to hear from you. NMLS number 109-768 for there. And Coach, talk about Networks Basketball, another sponsor of ours.
whoa, we're busy. I just got off the court just a little bit ago. Networksbasketball.com for all individual instruction. If you're coaches out there, we do coach coaching clinics. It's called Teamworks, where we help you with whatever you think you need help with to help your team be better. Again, networksbasketball.com. Very easy to get to. The website's easy to maneuver. You'll find our phone number on there. You can hit me up at Coach K Nunley on Twitter, if you've got it, or X, whatever we're calling it today. But so you can hit me up there as well.
All right. Well, fantastic. Well, Coach, what'd you think of? So today's the day after the championship game in NCAA between UConn and Michigan. Did you watch that game?
I watched it, Coach. I watched it. Great game. I mean, Michigan's just so big, physical. Uh, you know, the UConn being a little bit undersized really hurt them on the offensive end. They just could not finish around the basket. And then put on the fact that they were really struggling from behind the arc. They just had trouble scoring and getting on runs to score. And then Michigan pounding the ball inside. I think they only hit, I know at one point they were 1 of 11 from behind the arc. They may have hit another one late, but, just pounding the ball inside, and their physicality just wore UConn down, and UConn had to hit shots, and they just weren't able to hit enough shots. Great game though. Very great game. Love watching it.
Yep, I thought it was well coached. There was a lot of plays, and there wasn't just a simple just pick and roll. Let's get in the pick and roll. Let's go from there. There was a lot of movement, flare screens, diving to the basket, and like you said, post play. That's what I thought. All right.
Coach, I'm going to throw you a little bit of a curveball. Fans, coaches of these teams, understand referees are calling the game the way they are told to call the game. Okay. If you don't like the physicality, it's not the referee's fault. It's how they're being told to call the game. Like traveling now has gotten down to the college level where they just don't call it because for some reason they believe people don't want to see blown whistles, and they want the game to flow. Okay. I want to see it called by the rule book. So understand, they are calling it based on their opinion of how the call will affect the game. So now they're putting their perception into the game. That's why you see late whistles, guy driving to the basket. They're waiting to see if the ball goes in. If the ball goes in, they're not going to call a foul. A foul's a foul. A travel's a travel. I would like to see college basketball. Heck, I would like to see the NBA. I saw one highlight from yesterday. A guy took 5 steps without dribbling. I want to see the game called by the rule book. I'm not interested in your perception or your opinion of what a call should be. Call it by the rules.
Totally 100% agree, Coach. Okay, let's talk about our main topic today. The, the art of high school recruiting for players to get to the next level. What does that look like? Meaning, let's break it down to the basics of what do college coaches look for? You've been out recruiting on the trail. Coaches still in that mode. When they go out, they're looking at body language. And the biggest thing I'm hearing about right now, besides that, is character.
You're hearing about in all the press conferences I've listened to this year, a big deal that college coaches are talking about is character, fit. Do they fit into the program? I was just on the phone with a guy just before we got started talking about trying to help a kid get recruited. And that was one of the things that that he was talking about. Their program wants people that want to be at their school and want to fit into their culture. And that's become a big deal. With the portal exploding a couple of years ago, everybody just wanted to amass all the talent. And talent doesn't win. One of my favorite movies, Miracle by that 1980 hockey team. Herb Brooks says, I'm not looking for the best ones, I'm looking for the right ones. And I think that's where we're getting to with coaching and recruiting right now is I've always said, yes, there is a baseline of talent. Wherever I've been, there is a baseline of talent to the player I have to recruit. But then I recruit the character. So coaches will watch you the moment you walk in a gym. They're watching you, how you react to people, your interaction with people, your body language. What does it say? Coach REM of Connecticut once said, your body language screams. And Cal Perry says that as well. So they're watching all those things. So the moment you get in a situation where there's a college coach in your area, they're watching you and they're watching everything you do.
Well, I've even heard coaches saying, "Hey, send me a good game film and send me their worst game of the season." Have you experienced that?
I've experienced it. I would never want to do that because I think what you want to do is, as I've told players, your film has to be like a 3D movie. You have to jump off the screen at them. They're not going to wait around. That's why they like highlights. That's why I get a lot of coaches that tell me, send me highlights first and then send me a game film because they are microwave. Okay. They're operating in a microwave world. Give me 3 minutes, give me 4 minutes of highlights. And in those highlights, you better jump out and grab them and say, I am the player you need. And then when you send a game film to them, you need to have a good first quarter because they're not going to wait around to the third quarter where you scored 20. They're not going to wait around. Okay. They're going to go, well, what am I watching? Because a lot of coaches in recruiting are looking to mark you off, not put you on the list. They're looking to delete you from the list because they want their list to be compact, short, compact. They don't want to be dealing with 100, 200, 300 players. They want to find a reason to mark you off, not necessarily a reason to recruit you.
Well, what's the experience going on? Because it's a lot different than when I was playing back in the day, many moons ago, where players trying to get to the next level. I mean, the portal opened up what 12 o'clock midnight today, and then it goes through I think April 21st. Is that right? Can you explain more about
To
what
get
that
in,
is?
yes, the portal opened today. Now, today, tomorrow, and Thursday is called a dead period, which means no player can go to that campus. They can't visit. Okay. But coaches will be talking to their representatives and people like that. Then on the 21st, the portal closes. So you can't get in. So if
April
you got
21st.
till the
Okay.
21st, you get in. And then everything with the portal, as far as the portal being is concerned, everything wraps up on April 30th. So right now, names are going to get out. I mean, kids have been getting in the portal. They've been saying they're going to get in anyway. And then you'll see a flood of people getting in the portal in the next few days, the next week or so. And then you'll see players action. This is both men and women. The women actually are a day shorter because their Final Four, their championship game ended on Sunday. So actually their portal opened yesterday. So it's just a day shorter or a day earlier, I should say. And then, but you'll see people, they'll commit before ever seeing a campus or anything like that. Some players will go very fast. They already know where they're going.
Okay. So how is it for a high school player right now? Like I'm trying to get recruited. First of all, I just got out of middle school. I'm in ninth grade, right? So, their thoughts are not exactly where they need to be yet, but they want to get recruited to get there versus a senior. And then the actual portal itself, because in the past podcast, you mentioned about how many players get in and then don't have a place to go when it's time to, play again.
Okay, well let's first of all let's look at our college football and college basketball national champions, dominated by portal players. Okay. Michigan starting five were all portal. Their
Wow.
average age was 22, and their oldest player was 25.
Wow.
Notice I did not mention an 18-year-old freshman. Okay.
Hmm.
Now Connecticut had a very, very good freshman on the floor, but notice the team that won it was all portal, average age of 22. So the portal is making it really, really tough on high school kids. Okay. And we're not talking about just the Michigans of the world and people like that, all the way down Division II, down into Division III. Okay. The portal is everywhere in every NAIA. Okay. First year JUCO, you're a guy that played at a school, a 4-year school. You're 1 year, you're not happy there. Now you fall back to JUCO. Like they want those guys. So you have to understand right now that high school players are the lowest person on the totem pole. They are the least marketable player in college basketball right now. So you really have to be smart with the decisions that you make in trying to get recruited. And you have to be willing to cast a wide net. And as I tell players, you have to be willing to almost go anywhere. Like, don't, hey, if I'm from North Carolina, well, I want to go to a North Carolina school. Well, okay. That's now your net is really, really small, and that may not necessarily work out. Plus the process, unless you're a top 100, 150 player in the country, the process is now drawn out. The traditional or the past few years before the portal of, hey, I'm going to get seen. A couple of schools like me. I'm going to go visit the schools in August and September, and I'll sign at this early signing date in November. Those days are few and far between for most high school kids now. The process is much, much longer because you have to wait out the portal, and because that's where most of the people are going and getting their players. And again, and that's all the way through. You've got situations like the University of Tennessee's women. They don't have a player on the roster. Like they don't have a player on the roster right now. The other day I had a guy tell me I think NC State's got one or two, like on the guy side. The University of Arkansas, they've lost 7 women now in the portal.
Wow.
Like so, coaches would know what they needed. Like right now, this time of the year, coaches would know what they would need for 27.
Hmm.
They don't know what they need for 26 and 27. Okay. Because
Wow.
they may think they know, but a kid could walk in there today. The kid can walk in there for the next 2 weeks that they thought, hey, he or she's staying here. Okay. I can count on them. Well, in the next 2 weeks, they could walk in and go, Coach, I'm gone. And now what they didn't think was a need is now a need. And now they're rustling around to try to find the best player they can to fill a need. So it's tough. I mean, the number one thing is as I have found is, first of all, you got to do the work. You got to put the work in and become a player. Okay. At the end of the day, you can't manipulate this thing. Okay. Your talent is going to be on film. It's going to be displayed. Your talent's going to be displayed on the floor. Okay. So your game is going to get you your opportunity. So you've got to make sure. I was just talking to a young lady the other day about travel ball and things like that, and she said, "Well, I want to get exposed. I want to get exposure to college coaches." And I just asked her one simple question. I said, "Is your game ready to be seen by college coaches?" And she said, "No." I'm like, "So why do you want to go play in front of them?" Like and that's what we do at Networks. We walk, if players want us to and parents want us to, we walk them through the process. This is one of the things that we do. And a lot of the process is just asking questions. Okay. It's not telling you what to do. It's just, okay, why do you want to do it? Like in that situation, why do you want to go do this? And the answer was to get seen by college coaches. Okay. Do you think your game's ready to be seen by college coaches? And she said, no. And then she asked me my opinion. And I agree with you. So let's go get your game ready. And then that's when I told her, because your game has to jump out like it's a 3D movie. Okay. They're not going to wait around. Okay. They're not going to wait. They're not. So, especially, and I talked to a college coach, a Division I coach this week, and was telling her about a 2028 prospect. And she texted me back and said, Coach, I'm all into the portal. I can't even think about 2028.
Wow.
And so when used to the junior year, the sophomore junior travel ball season was huge. And now it's like they don't even know, they don't have their squad for next year yet. So it's really changed. It's gotten tougher. And it's unfortunate.
So as a high school player, what I just heard was basically go work on your game so you jump off the tape, jump off the video.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you got to do. Go work. Okay. Because this isn't easy anymore. And you got to work on your game. And then the number one thing I tell kids and their parents straight up, okay, is first of all, pray about it. Believe that God is going to open a door for you. And then we have to do our job, and our job is to put the work in. And that's what I tell them. And then I tell them to set it aside. And I was telling a young player just the other day, a high school player, okay, we know what your goals and dreams are. We know what they are. Okay, let's put it over in the corner. And that's not our emphasis. Okay, we're not going out to do basketball for that reason. We're just going to go out and do basketball to become the best basketball player we can be, to be the best teammate we can be, and help our team win. Okay, that's all you want to do. Just do that. That's your concentration. Your concentration, we know what it is, but that's not what we're concentrated on.
Well, I think it's very important, and I've heard you say this, to seek wise counsel, because there's a lot of folks in their ear, like parents coaching from the stands. They're not on the same page with what the team is doing. There's a lot of folks in their ear about how, especially how you just broke it down, the way it used to be versus now. So can you talk about that a little bit, about seeking wise counsel?
Well, that's biblical. Uh, you know, the Bible talks a lot about wise counsel and fools. And so you got to put yourself in position, and you want to put yourself in a position where you get around people that you can trust, that you have a relationship that you trust, and that actually have been a part of it. Okay. Like for me, I was a 10-year college coach. I coached at every level. I've coached both sides. I've coached from junior college all the way up to Division I, both men and women. Okay. I coached AAU. Okay. I've coached high powered AAU. I've coached teams where we've had 9 guys and 8 of them signed, and 4 of them signed Division I. I've coached guys that gone to Duke, Florida, places like that. So I've coached high level AAU. And I know a lot of coaches. Okay. So I still seek their counsel. I will call friends of mine and go, okay, how do I help this player? Here's what I've got. Tell me how things are changing. Okay. So it's not just me sitting here. It's like, I work at this. Okay. This is my job. Okay. I work at it. And so that's the type of counselor you got to seek. And then you got to seek somebody that, and I was wrong when I used to say this. I used to say Networks basketball didn't have an agenda. And that's wrong, because everybody has an agenda. Okay. But what we try best to do is, our agenda is you. Is your goals, dreams, and desires, and trying to help you to get there the best way we can. Okay. That's our agenda. So it's not about, our agenda is not like, you will not, like, I never wear a shirt or anything that's got players' names on it that we've helped go anywhere. Okay. It's the agenda to try to get you to do what you need to do. And then from there, we'll try to help you. And like I talked last time on our podcast, we ended, and we tell you the truth. Okay. Like that young lady the other day, do you think your game's ready? And she said, no. And then she goes, what do you think, coach? And I said, no, it's not yet. We're close, but we're not there yet. Okay. That's the type you want honesty. Okay. And I think that's one of the big things is because in this game, like anything else in life, it's a relationship business, not a basketball business. And my first job is to get people to trust me. That's my first job. Okay. And if you trust me, then things move very well. Because the number one person I'm trusting is God's going to help us all through the situation. He's going to be all over it and he's going to help us. So that's the first thing you got to do. Because most people, if you're a good player, okay, just look at how many people want to be around you. And then you have to ask yourself, why do they want to be around you? Okay, what is their agenda? Okay, what are they trying to do? And so, and everybody, sports is great, and it's why we have a lot of fans in sports, okay, because everybody thinks they can be an expert at it.
Right. That's right.
So you just got to make sure that you surround yourself with smart people that know, that have been around, that have helped people, that have the experience, and that are willing to tell you the truth in love of where your game is, where your situation is. It's like today, if you're a parent of a high school player, I'm not really telling you good news. I'm telling you it is a very, very, very hard road to get there now. And that's in any sport. It's just because of the situation the NCAA has built now, they do not care. They don't care about high school kids. And that's the truth. They don't care. They care about making money and what they think makes them the most money. And they think having a team, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not against it. It's the way the rules are. But having a team of 22-year-olds, 25-year-old on a team, they think that makes the game better. And that's what they're going to do. And that's what we're fighting. And it's an uphill battle. It's like a
Well,
club that you're trying to get into. That's what it is. It's a club you're trying to get into, and they have a very strict membership policy.
mm. And from what I've seen and what I've heard, there's not a shortcut. You got to do the work.
Yeah, I mean, because your game's going to talk. I mean, like I said, I can get players seen. That ain't hard. Getting seen is not hard. Okay, that's easy. Okay, the thing is, do you have the game that needs to be seen? And I just see too many players go out when they're not ready. And you know, I don't know if this is a great example or not, but like I tell players, I said, you don't want to arrive at any birthday party or party early. You don't want to be the first one in the building. Like,
That's right.
so why do you want to be the first one in the building for this? Like, let's go when we're ready to go. And because then again, you will draw eyes to you when you are out there making plays. And there's more than one way to do it. A
Right.
lot of people think there's only one way. You got to play travel ball. You got to go to these events. You got to do this. You got to do that. Hey, and you know this because you've been around some of the people that we've had go to college and play. You know, we've got a young lady playing at a top 15 Division II program in the country that never saw her play live.
Mm.
Like, so there's more than one way to do it. And she played
Definitely
AAU
not.
out the wazoo.
Yes.
Like she had been seen.
I feel like
Like,
there's a lot of folks that feel like that's the way to go, and because they feel like they're working towards something, or well, I've spent this amount of money to go to this out in Kansas or fly to California or Texas, and they feel like they're doing something, and really all they're doing is really spinning wheels. But like you said, they're not ready to be seen yet.
well,
It
I
makes
was
them
talking to
feel
a
good.
parent. I was talking to a parent about a month ago, and he says, I want cost effective. I want my money to be cost effective in this journey for his player. And we were talking about that. And I said, well, okay, you're spending money on hotels, you're spending money on travel, because somebody's got to go with your players. They're not old enough to go by themselves yet. So you're doing all this traveling. You're doing all this. Okay. And think about it this way. Play 5 travel ball games. In that time period, you play 5 games. Let's say you play half the game, which will go 32 minutes. So that's 16 minutes. Okay. In 5 games. Okay. Check me on my math, coach, because you're the lender. You're the mortgage guy. So check me on my math here. Okay.
Let me get my computer out.
I believe that's 80 minutes of game time.
Sounds about right.
Okay. So in 80 minutes of game time, in that game time, how many times do you have the ball or you're in a situation to make a play and a decision in 80 minutes of game time?
It's 5 games.
Versus
Yeah.
I could be in a gym with 4 or 5, 10 other players doing situational play, and in an hour and a half to 2-hour workout, I could be in a gym and be making that decision, having that situation and that decision over 100 times.
Wow.
And it gets filmed. And it gets sent to coaches. Like
College coach. Yeah.
right. And that's what I'm saying. Getting seen's not hard. Okay. The other day I made a 3-minute film on a player, sent it out to 8 coaches that I trust. So that player just got seen being in a gym with me.
Wow.
And that's, and that's one of the things, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, I've got over 200, I got 125 to 130 coaches in my phone at every level. So you getting seen ain't a problem. It's, are you ready to be seen? And readiness is not just physical, but it's mental and emotional as well. And are you ready to go into that situation? Because it's not team basketball.
Right.
Like they're, they're not yelling. They're not yelling for you to take them, do them. You got this, get it. They're not yelling at their kid to take somebody for the good of the team.
Right. Right.
And
That's
that's
right.
the mentality you have to have. I mean, that's a mentality that you have to learn to have too.
Mm. Well, let's touch on one more thing before we wrap it up here. You started to get
Okay.
into a little bit a while ago about with your net, if you're looking just at going to North Carolina, where we're located, versus going somewhere else. What's the differences besides just the bigger net? What's the differences that other schools may have to offer?
Well, okay. One is, and I mean, it's just facts. State of North Carolina, all the smaller schools, the Division II schools here are mostly private, which makes them more expensive.
Mm.
Okay. And they don't necessarily, like one of the leagues here, one of the Division II leagues here in North Carolina. Okay. They have 7.5 scholarships. So they got to form a team with 7.5 scholarships. Okay. Whereas the Midwest, okay, the leagues out there, okay, they're fully funded. They're 10 full rides, 11 full rides, 12 full rides. Excuse me. They are fully funded. So you're also looking at, like in the Division II realm, okay, is you can either be in a league that's not as funded, okay, so it's a little tougher and you're going to use your own money, okay, or find a league that's fully funded and now like your Pell Grant money and things like that, that's yours. You get to spend it on how you want to because everything's fully funded. So geographics and leagues, how they fund things and things like that is also very, very important. So that's why you want to cast a wider net, because you may find a situation here where it's a full ride scholarship, but they're taking academics, your Pell money and basketball. Whereas I get to go to a school maybe in Minnesota or Iowa or somewhere like that, where it's like Division I. They're putting a sheet of paper in front of you and going, okay, everything's free. And
Wow.
your Pell money and all that stuff is yours. So there's a difference. So you can't look at it like, hey, all Division II leagues are not the same. All Division III leagues are not the same. It's the same as Division I. I mean, a smaller Division I program is not giving the same NIL money as Michigan or Ohio State or Indiana or any, UConn, any of those schools. And and it's like I think I said in the last podcast, UCLA, the men's basketball program and their women's team just won it, but their men's program coach was asked, "Hey, what do you need for next year?" And he went $5 more million in NIL money. Like they, so even at that level, it's not the same.
Right.
Well, it's not the same at Division II either. So you want to cast a wide net that gives you more opportunities and more options. Plus, and I'll just touch on this real quick, Coach. We can go however long you want to go, but I always say, if you get one scholarship offer, you'll get three. If you get three, you'll get five. Because there are no secrets in recruiting, and it's amazing how if you just get one to want you, now you're wanted. Now your marketability goes up to everybody else because, like, wait a minute, what? Because their college coaches are a little bit paranoid of, okay, what are they seeing that I'm not seeing?
Mm.
Okay. I had a kid get an offer. I called a Division I coach one time and I said, "Hey, these 4 schools have already offered." The guy had never seen him play. He said, "Well, tell him he's got an offer here." Like, so that's why I say, if you get one, you'll get 3. If you get 3, you'll get 5. Okay. So you might want to go to school in your backyard, but no school in your backyard's offered you. But now all of a sudden a school in Nebraska has now offered you. Guess what? Those schools in your backyard will probably look at you again because it's like, hey, wait a minute. Why is this school 1,000 miles away from here offered a guy that's right, or offered a player right in our backyard? What are we not seeing?
Right. Mm. Well, awesome. Well, thank you, Coach. Well, if you like what you hear, want to share it, feel free to comment. And then if you like to be a guest, reach out to us as well. I like to go through the process of that. We got more guests coming on. We got some realtors coming up, talk about the real estate business, where mortgages are, things like that, as well as some other coaches. In fact, one of our next podcasts coming up is getting homeschooled and playing in the homeschool league, and what advantages or disadvantages you might have being homeschooled and playing in the sport. So stay tuned for that.
Absolutely.
Right.
And put in your comments if there's a podcast you want us to talk about. This is not just sports related. We will, hey, me and this guy, we'll talk about anything. So it's
We
not
can talk
just
about wrestling.
related.
Ric Flair, baby.
Hey man,
Woo!
hey man. 80s, hey, 70s and 80s trivia. I mean, we'll go anywhere. We'll go most anywhere. I won't say we'll go anywhere, but we'll touch on most subjects. So if you got a subject in there that you would like us to cover, we'd love to cover it. And because, like I said, this is just two guys that talk and will tell the truth and give it, and we enjoy it.
All right, Coach. Well, have a good couple of days, and I'll see you soon.
Oh, absolutely, sir. Talk to you later.
All right, bye-bye.